So thank you for that. So Neha had a point yesterday about whether we should actually take the approach that we have taken, which is logically or um, topically distribute discourses and then read it in that manner. And I think that's a good question. And I'll tell you my view on it, and then we can also bring up everybody's views before we proceed in that direction. The first thing is, I think my Teams is just struggling today.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Rahul. Is that Rahul or Sanjay?
Jai Baba. Jai
Jai
Baba.
Baba.
Yeah, Baba.
Jai Baba, I think I've been struggling today to get in.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What
10
happened?
minutes. It took me 10 minutes. Restart.
Yeah, same here. I was trying from a long time, but
No, that's because I was late. That's the only reason I can think of. I was late. I'm usually in by 5 minutes before, so 5 minutes or 10 minutes before, and I was not. So now can you see my Excel sheet?
Not
I'm
seeing heavy.
Coming up. Has it come up?
yes.
Yeah. So I'll just so the thing is the Neha's point, which we will first discuss and put it to vote, is whether we have the liberty as students and as people as seekers to move around the sequence, and to which my response is now let me finish my response and then I'll open it up. So my response is this was particularly a set of discourses collected over a period of time that Baba had given. And for us, the understanding is more important of the aspects in a way where we can get this. And in conversation with Kama, and he's brought this up even during the God Speaks sessions, he mentioned how he struggled with it for 4 years and has organized it in a way where it's easier to learn. So I thought that was a better way to go about it. Now I want everybody on the group to confirm or give their views. I will control who says what when. That becomes easier. So we can start in alphabetical order, maybe. Ashok.
Karthik, to my mind, we can go as it comes because the thoughts will come and go, and what is more relevant for today's contemporary times. And I just want to add one more thing, if you permit, that is that at Mehrazad, what happens in Mehrazad and Mehrabad is having significance, and it also connotes something that's happening. So at Mehrazad, the old tree where Baba's face was etched is defacing and new branches are coming out. So I think that's an indication that we're having into a new travails or new order. So for me, I would say we can go as it comes.
Okay, any order. Good. One vote. Neha, your vote now. I'm just going in the order that's showing up here on the right. So random.
Yeah, Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Baba.
See, any book, we should respect
Yeah.
the author, and at least for discourses, I feel we should go with the chapter 1 from the beginning to end and just honor the book. That is
Okay.
my lookout. And if anything which is relevant today or Kama would like to emphasize, so we could always have another session or so.
Okay.
My mic is going on mute.
Accepted. Mama.
This is my point of view. I really wanted a book to start from the beginning, from the very first chapter to the
Okay.
end. It should not be because most of us has been reading God Speaks and Beams and this book from discourses from a very long time.
Mhm.
But still, it makes all the difference if we start from the beginning and go through the entire process. It is good for the new people. Otherwise, they will feel incomplete even after the sessions, even after. So that's the only
Understood.
This is what I feel, that a book should be, you know, it should not.
Yeah. Mama?
Discuss in this manner.
As a beginner for discourses, either way is okay for me.
Oh, so we have a new voting type. Okay. Yeah, so Kama, with your, I think, your vote and your defense.
Nothing. I think it's very simple. Every book is unique. This is not a book reading of a fiction book or a non-fiction book. This is a book about where we are trying to understand our journey. And I've been reading this book, Discourses, since 1996. Only in 2009.
Kama, we
my
all
book-
are reading, so
Excuse me. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Yeah,
No, this is not a script. This is not a movie script or a drama script here.
you are taking
I'm
it all
talking
wrong.
about my
You
own
have
opinion.
decided something
You know,
in your mind, so that's
I
okay.
have to
I
talk
don't
about
want-
my own opinion. So what I want to express here is that I struggle with it a lot because going back and forth and going back and forth. And then, of course, like I said, this is my own understanding. And what I realized is that we need something, because God speaks is something. Yes, we read sequentially. That's how Baba dictated it. And that's how it should be read. And each book has to be looked upon in its own, how well it can be, we can try to understand.
Deciphered.
So what I've done is, we are dealing with sanskaras. Our idea is to, dissolve our ego. Here we are not here to figure out, like, how should we read a book or what we should read. So that's why I put up that table, and in conjunction with Karthik also. If Karthik had not agreed, I would not have even expressed it, but I thought this would be a easier way, as a top-down approach of understanding God speaks, which has given us the foundation of who is God, what is God, and why God. Now it's about a process where we are trying to understand terms like consciousness and sanskaras. What is the relevance of avatars and perfect masters? What is love and ego? Because today we are dealing with our material life and spiritual life. So that's how I look at it. So it's coming from a mind basis. I can understand from your heart that it would be nice to read it. I respect that. But in the context of what we are trying to achieve here, I believe that this process will be the correct one. Jai Baba.
Yeah, I'll just add only one more point to that, and that is the reason why I voted the way I voted. My interest was, like Kama, to understand and absorb. So whereas Baba has said mere reading is also good enough, but I'm tempted to attempt to learn and unravel and absorb. So in that process, sequence is less significant. So that's one more point I wanted to add in favor. Now Nomita's turn. Sorry for the interruption.
Jai Baba, these are Baba's words, and I accept them in whichever way they are delivered to me. I ask of Baba's grace for it to be retained within me um, as long as it can, and whatever is the mode of delivery, I'm good with it.
So that's neutral.
Yeah, I am okay with both ways. Yeah.
Okay. Rahul, you're on mute. You can just unmute.
I'm new. I would go with whatever you guys decide at the end of it, because I think you guys are much better off to tell us which way to go about it.
Okay, cool. No problem. Samira, you also on mute.
Yeah. Actually, I'm okay both ways. It doesn't really matter to me how you read it, because sequence-wise, we've probably all done it, mechanically thought over it, and so at this stage, it doesn't really matter. And I feel sometimes if you suddenly read something from the middle, or whatever sequence you all have chosen, it's easier to comprehend and absorb to some extent. because there is another, the thought process starts in that way. So I'm fine both ways.
So Sanjay, thanks Samira, I took your vote.
Yeah, Jai Baba. I think
Jai
the
Baba.
way the book is, I think the book, the way it is structured is the chapters are independent of each other, and the way now you guys are reorganized the sequences makes some sense, because all of us may not run through the whole book as the lockdown opens and all that. No? So
Correct.
at least during the lockdown that is there, we can cover the most relevant and most important sections. And this is with the understanding that most of us at least has run through the book once or twice or maybe more. So that I think is a preferred way. But I am okay with even if it is. Of course, when you do it sequentially, it gives you a sense that, okay, I have finished page by page. I have not left anything. So that's, I mean, that's,
No, but you have to give a vote. So is it sequence, non-sequence, or neutral?
I'm okay. I'll prefer the new way.
Non-sequence. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I can at least pick up the most relevant parts first and then
Great.
do the reading of my own later. Yeah.
Okay.
If anything I miss. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Sanjay. Sunil?
Yeah.
I started thinking like Neha originally, but as I applied my mind to it, I think Kama's way is better. So I'll vote for Kama. Kama's path.
Okay. Tushar, your vote. Thanks, Sunil.
For me, this is a bonus. It's not in my agenda to read beams and discourses at the moment, because I have a backlog of other books and things to do. So in terms of giving a vote, I feel that nothing should be left out from the book. If it is reordered, rearranged, nothing should be left out from the original book. And if the chapters are independent from each other, the sequence doesn't matter to me. But I always believe there's one more thing, and most important is intelligence is always with the minority. So in that term, I will like to vote for Neha. But I am okay with anything. Neha is in the minority. She could be
relevant is very subjective matter. You think it's relevant, but Baba knows best what is relevant. So Anyway, whatever I'm comfortable with, but I prefer to go with the sequence. Anyway,
okay,
I honor what you decide.
No. So I think let's just actually.
So this is an imposition by Baba for you. Yeah, this is a new imposition.
Yeah, I mean, I think we referred to this technique that I used, right? So that's what I referred to even when I had a brief chat with Kama in the morning. Let's get Baba into this, right? So we are making a decision, and let's get Baba into this, and let's feel that he's also somehow making this decision with us, right? So anyway, this is the votes that I have here. So sequence was 3, non-sequence.
One more point I missed. Let me come in. See, with God Speaks, there was a clear instruction by Baba how to read it. I don't know if there is any instruction with discourses.
I don't know about that too.
God Speaks has a very clear instruction. Baba has given a clear instruction for God Speaks. How to read it. And you should, even if you don't understand, you have to read it. And you have to read it at one go. So I don't know about
Yes, that's very important for each and every one. Whenever you read God Speaks, just complete the book.
Yeah. You have to follow the instructions.
And
so
Baba also says, and Baba also says that if you can't,
it was mentioned. Sorry, Samira?
Baba also says that if you don't know how to read it, because there was somebody who does, Baba also says that if you don't know how to read it, keep it under your pillow.
Yes.
But you have to imbibe it.
Yes. In fact, I was resigned to that model for this Janma till recently. So I'm
Same
happy
here.
I made the attempt.
God speaks.
Because I read the 2 times that I read it, I didn't get anything. So I'm glad we are doing this, and it's all
But
Baba's work.
starting keeping laptop inside is little difficult, you know.
What is that?
Nothing.
One more comment. I just wanted to say that yesterday, when we started reading the Travail of the New World Order, it made very much significance with the current conditions. And it's a chapter which comes later. So, because this discourses was written in the course of 4 years, and many changes happened because this was World War II. So I think it's, there is no ego hassle out here. I'm just telling you that, it was a long struggle for me.
Absolutely not.
And I think that, it will make it easier for you guys, So give it a shot.
We are absolutely fine.
You can
with
always
it.
do a second
So,
reading.
this is my genuine question.
The-
And I think everyone has, when we are in a group, this is a genuine question. I really wanted to understand that why we are not going through from the beginning and why we are not honoring the author. That was only my question. That's
Perfect. I think Neha, you hit the nail on the head. Definitively, we are a group that's just going to discover this together, right? So we at points where we are at a fork, let's put things to vote. Baba is part of the group, and we will decide based on what the majority opinion is. It's not a class of someone; it's Baba's class, right? So it's not somebody saying, this is how I want to teach you discourses. I'm just making this very clear to everybody. This is a process of self-discovery where each one at certain times may come and contribute to help the other. So it's a collaborative, cooperative effort rather than a teacher. The only teacher and awakener we have is Baba amongst us. With that spirit, I think let's take the decision of going with a non-sequence. And to Tushar's point, we took great pains to make sure exactly what you said, which is not to leave any page, right? So that's why I did that painful exercise of putting it from the soft copy to the table, pages to pages, and made sure that every part is covered in some way and we don't lose sight of it. And my intent is also to go and cover and put the video links in the same Excel, so that if somebody wants to refer, they can actually go to the table and click on a video link and get that corresponding video to understand, right? So I think we have done that. So with that, I think.
Hi. Another takeaway for newcomers like us is to almost get notes from a student, so we can do better. Somebody who's really studying.
By now, you're a veteran, Novita.
Thank you. I like that coming from you. I'm honored. My day's made.
Awesome.
And I want you to share the pineapple cake with us.
Okay. I have lots of orders pending. Thank you.
Great. So I'll continue from where we are, page 320 on the soft copy, and I've brought it up on screen. So I'm always nervous about these housekeeping tasks. The focus of our 1 hour should be as much reading as possible. So that's why I try to pull back everything. So as another ground rule, interruptions are required only when absolutely essential, right? So I know interaction is important, and I keep pausing as well when something gets really out of hand or tough. So we'll keep making progress as well, right? So I think with that one comment, I start. We stopped at change of heart. I changed the PDF, so we lost the bookmark. Okay. So I start from here. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. The present chaos and destruction will engulf the whole world. But in the future, this will be followed by a very long period in which there shall be no war. The passing sufferings and miseries of our times will be worth enduring for the sake of the long period of happiness that is to follow eventually. What will the present chaos lead to? How will it all end? It can only end in one way. Mankind will become sick of it all. Man will be sick of wanting and sick of fighting out of hatred. Greed and hatred will reach such intensity that everyone will become weary of them. The way out of the deadlock will be found through selflessness. The only alternative that can bring a solution will be to stop hating and to love, to stop wanting and to give, to stop dominating and to serve. Great suffering awakens great understanding. Supreme suffering fulfills its purpose and yields its true significance when it awakens an exhausted humanity and stirs within it a genuine longing for real understanding. Unprecedented suffering leads to unprecedented spiritual growth. It contributes to the construction of life on the unshakable foundation of the truth. It is now high time that universal suffering should hasten humanity to the turning point in its spiritual history. It is now high time that the very agonies of our times should become a medium for bringing a real understanding to human relationships. It is now high time for humanity to face squarely the true causes of the catastrophe that has overtaken it. It is now high time to seek a new experience of reality, to know that life is real and eternal is to inherit unfading bliss. It is time that man had this realization by being unified with his own self. Through this unification with the higher self, man perceives the infinite self in all selves. He becomes free by outgrowing and discarding the limitations of the ego life. The individual soul has to realize with full consciousness its identity with the universal soul. Man shall reorient life in the light of this ancient truth and will readjust his attitude towards his neighbors in everyday life. To perceive the spiritual value of oneness is to promote real unity and cooperation. Brotherhood then becomes a spontaneous outcome of true perception. The new life that is based upon spiritual understanding is an affirmation of the truth. It is not something that belongs to utopia, but is completely practical. Now that humanity is thrown into the fire of bloody conflicts through immense anguish, it is experiencing the utter instability and futility of a life based upon purely material conceptions. The hour is near when man, in his eager longing for real happiness, will seek its true source. I pause here. I think my heart goes out to Baba for thinking that man would stand up and use the opportunity of the war to move and become more spiritual. In fact, it's almost how many years? 80 years later that we still are all these words are echoing in perfection, and we think that this incident and this experience will make us move to spirituality. So I apologize on behalf of humanity to Baba that we failed him, right? So he's almost confident that after the war we'll become more spiritual. Any other comments before I continue? Okay, I continue. The
Suffering brings the awakening. So
Yes.
that's
a big
core of this para. So that is what Baba always say, that in spirituality, when there is lots of suffering, there will be lots of awakening also.
Yes, I think even in God Speaks, I think in the supplement, there's a clear reference to the need and role of suffering, and suffering brings out this. Yes, agreed. That's the takeaway from here. Yeah. The time is also right when humanity will ardently seek to contact the embodiment of truth in the form of the God-man, through whom it can be inspired and lifted into spiritual understanding. It will accept the guidance that comes from divine authority. Only the outpouring of divine love can bring about spiritual awakening. In this critical time of universal suffering, humanity is becoming ready to turn toward its higher self and to fulfill the will of God. Divine love will perform the supreme miracle of bringing God into the hearts of man and of getting him established in lasting and true happiness. It will satisfy the greatest need and longing of mankind. Divine love will make people selfless and helpful in their mutual relationships, and it will bring about the ultimate solution of all problems. The new brotherhood on earth shall be a fulfilled fact, and nations will be united in the fraternity of love and truth. My existence is for this love and this truth. To suffering humanity, I say, have hope. I have come to help you in surrendering yourselves to the cause of God and in accepting his grace of love and truth. I have come to help you in winning the one victory of all victories, to win yourself. So with that, we are done with this chapter. Again, I can pause for any questions or comments.
Jai Baba. This
Could you
message.
expand the font size?
Oh, sure, I will. When I get back to the PDF, yeah, I will.
I just see that this message was given just before the World War II.
1940, after it started.
41,
so,
yeah.
41, yeah.
Just before, yeah.
So the war technically started 39, right?
Yeah, so during that time, I mean.
Correct. So,
but also, the last line, I have come to help you winning the one victory of all victories, to win yourself. So I think the real emphasis of all of Baba's messages is, again, I'm quoting How to Love God, the last postulate. To love God as he ought to be loved, we must live for God and die for God, knowing that the goal of life is to love God and find him as our own self. So I call it with the acronym OILS, our innermost loving self, which is always present in the waking state or in the deep sleep state, 24/7. So this self is what the beyond God state is, So thank you.
Yeah, this self is always there. The only problem is we are not aware of it. The whole idea is to be self-aware. The whole goal is to be self-aware.
Yes, small self is not aware of the big self. We should strive to be aware of the big self.
True.
In God Speaks, Baba talks about the self as the real ego, and what we are dealing with is our false I, or the false ego, or the ego personality selves, which is basically due to sanskaras.
Exactly. So the only goal is self-realization, the Atma realization.
Okay, Kama. So which one do I read next?
Next one is that to die for God, that page number, it is 339, and it's on the PDF on our format. It's 39, chapter 39, live for God and die for God. So one page.
Yeah, Jai
Okay.
Baba. Actually,
Yeah.
there is one version of this which has been written by what is her name? Rose Reed. Okay, and the book is called Journey in Consciousness. I would. It's the same. It's a takeoff on the same thing, and it's her version, and it's a very beautiful and easy version to understand. I'm going to put a link. I don't know where to put the link. That's a different issue. But can I take a photograph, because this book is not available online anywhere?
Okay.
So maybe, so I'll take a photograph and attach it. You can
just
read
post
it later.
it. Yeah.
I'll
Just
post it
it.
somewhere.
Yeah, wherever
because
you
it's a
post
huge
it.
one. I don't want to,
Sure.
But it's a very nicely put one. And he talks about the world war and, about everything in this.
Sure. This is the one, right?
I think
Yeah.
3-4 days back, you said something, Tushar, about the Manonash, about the small self and big self and Manonash.
There is no small and big. There is
Ah,
the word. The word has a big S and small s.
Yes.
yeah.
So the one with big S is individuality. Baba has talked of that in God Speaks.
Yes. And
Individual.
about Manonash also, you said something about Manonash. I
Mano-
remember.
What was the context? What is your question?
Okay, let it be. I was just remembering something you said. It was very nice.
Manonash is a goal actually, because we are outside the travels of birth and death. Once Manonash happens.
Maybe Manonash is probably not the goal. It's one of the places you have to
Yes.
reach to be
It's not
able
the
to
goal.
reach the goal.
Yes. Steps, one of the
Manonash is technically called nirvana, annihilation of the mind, which is basically fana. The first stage of fana is nirvana, and the second stage of fana is fana phila, which is nirvikalpa samadhi. I am God state. So yes, the goal is initial goal is nirvana, but the real goal is nirvikalpa samadhi. But only few can achieve nirvikalpa samadhi. That is based on divine will. So once you attain nirvana, which is the definition of where consciousness is and God is not, and which is called fana, and then fana phila, which is nirvikalpa samadhi, where the divine vacuum state is filled by the I am God state. So that happens immediately after nirvana, according to God speaks. Thereby.
Great. Thank you. So I continue. I'm on page 339 for those on the print. Live for God and die for God.
Please, font size.
Yes. Bigger than this? God Speaks, we were using a smaller one, so that's what I did. Is this better?
Yeah, this is okay.
Okay. This war is a necessary evil. It is in God's plan, which is to awaken humanity to higher values. If humanity fails to profit by the lessons of the war, it will have suffered in vain. This war is teaching that even an ordinary person can rise to the greatest heights of sacrifice for the sake of a selfless cause. It is also teaching that all the mundane things of the world, wealth, possessions, power, fame, family, and even the very tenor of life on earth are transitory and devoid of lasting value. Through the lessons they bring, the incidents of war shall win man over for God, who is the truth, and they will initiate him into a new life that is inspired by true and lasting values. People are making unlimited sacrifices and enduring untold sufferings for the sake of their country or political ideology. They are therefore capable of the same sacrifices and endurance for the sake of God or the truth. All religions have unequivocally claimed man for a life in the truth. Thus, it is sheer folly to fight in the name of religion. It is time humanity had a fresh vision of the truth that all life is one and God is the only thing that is real and that matters. God is worth living for, and he is also worth dying for. All else is a vain and empty pursuit of illusory values. So this is war he's referring to is World War II. So do I continue with the next chapter?
Now you go to the first chapter, the new humanity.
Okay, give me a page number. Maybe you should have the Excel open now.
Page number.
Yeah, it's 24 on the soft copy.
Humanity starts
Yeah,
page
I've
number
opened
3.
it. 24th
What
page.
page is it on the
Physical is
printed
3.
edition?
It's 3 on the
Yeah.
physical.
3.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, I continue. As in all great critical periods of human history, humanity is now going through the agonizing travail of spiritual rebirth. Great forces of destruction are afoot and seem to be dominant at the moment, but constructive and creative forces that will redeem humanity are also being released through several channels. Although the working of these forces of light is chiefly silent, they are eventually bound to bring about these transformations that will make the further spiritual advance of humanity safe and steady. It is all a part of the divine plan, which is to give to the hungry and weary world a fresh dispensation of the eternal and only truth. At present, the urgent problem facing humanity is to devise ways and means of eliminating competition, conflict, and rivalry in all the subtle and gross forms that they assume in the various spheres of life. Military wars are, of course, the most obvious sources of chaos and destruction. However, wars in themselves do not constitute the central problem for humanity, but are rather the external symptoms of something graver at their root. Wars and the suffering they bring cannot be completely avoided by mere propaganda against war. If they are to disappear from human history, it will be necessary to tackle their root cause. Even when military wars are not waged, individuals or groups of individuals are constantly engaged in economic or some other subtle form of warfare. Military wars, with all the cruelty they involve, arise only when these underlying causes are aggravated. The cause of the chaos that precipitates itself in wars is that most persons are in the grip of egoism and selfish considerations, and they express their egoism and self interest individually as well as collectively. This is the life of illusory values in which man is caught. To face the truth is to realize that life is one in and through its manifold manifestations. To have this understanding is to forget the limiting self in the realization of the unity of life. With the dawn of true understanding, the problem of wars would immediately disappear. Wars have to be so clearly seen as both unnecessary and unreasonable that the immediate problem would not be how to stop wars, but to wage them spiritually against the attitude of mind responsible for such a cruel and painful state of things. In the light of the truth of the unity of all life, cooperative and harmonious action becomes natural and inevitable. Hence, the chief task before those who are deeply concerned with the rebuilding of humanity is to do their utmost to dispel the spiritual ignorance that envelops humanity. Wars do not arise merely to secure material adjustment. They are often the product of uncritical identification with narrow interests, which through association come to be included in that part of the world regarded as mine. Material adjustment is only part of the wider problem of establishing spiritual adjustment. Spiritual adjustment requires the elimination of self, not only from the material aspects of life, but also from those spheres that affect the intellectual, emotional, and cultural life of man. To understand the problem of humanity as merely a problem of bread is to reduce humanity to the level of animality. But even when man sets himself the limited task of securing purely material adjustment, he can only succeed in this attempt if he has spiritual understanding. Economic adjustment is impossible unless people realize that there can be no planned and cooperative action in economic matters until self-interest gives way to self-giving love. Otherwise, with the best of equipment and efficiency in the material spheres, humanity cannot avoid conflict and insufficiency. The new humanity that emerges from the travail of the present struggle and suffering will not ignore science or its practical attainments. It is a mistake to look upon science as anti-spiritual. Science is a help or hindrance to spirituality according to the use to which it is put. Just as true art expresses spirituality, science, when properly handled, can be the expression and fulfillment of the spirit. Scientific truths concerning the physical body and its life in the gross world can become mediums for the soul to know itself, but to serve this purpose, they must be properly fitted into larger spiritual understanding. This includes a steady perception of true and lasting values. In the absence of such spiritual understanding, scientific truths and attainments are liable to be used for mutual destruction and for a life that will tend to strengthen the chains that bind the spirit. All-sided progress of humanity can be assured only if science and religion proceed hand in hand. So this is a profound point that he's making, that science is not to be dismissed by those on the path, and I mean, a lot of spirituality says science is bunkum, including a lot of religion, right? So that in that sense, he balances it out and says science is significant and can contribute positively. I heard somebody else trying to say something. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Karthik, you know.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So,
Go ahead.
yeah. So, you know, history has got many instances, where, be it Renaissance, be it wars, that there's always, you know, the science and, you know, religion have to go hand in hand together. And so whether it is from darkness to light, or whether it is from wrong to right, so there's always that we have to all go together, whether it's science, it's technology, or whether it's religion, all have to go hand in hand.
True.
Yeah, what I wanted to point out is this particular paragraph where he talks about science. This is my personal opinion. I look at, when you define a human being, we are defined as matter and spirit. We are all spiritual beings in a material body. So I thought that if we are defining a human being, which is spirit and matter, that means there is a spiritual body and material body. There is laws of matter and laws of spirit. So the unfortunate part about the English language being ambiguous, I believe that when we talk about matter, we have laws of matter or material science, which is based on Newton's classical mechanics and quantum mechanics and so on, which runs this technology world. But spirituality is also a science, a spiritual science. If we believe God speaks, is a book. It is if you look at the whole process of evolution, reincarnation, involution, it's a scientific process. So I somehow find this very, kind of the word science has to be redefined, because spirituality is also a science, just like material life and spiritual life are scientific. So both have laws, both have to follow laws. So that is one point. And the second point he talked about was material adjustment and spiritual adjustment. I think this is a very key word, adjustment. And I'm going to read one part from one of the chapters called Conditions of Happiness, where Baba says, if an individual is desireless, he will not only eliminate much suffering that he causes others, but also much of his own self-created suffering. Mere desirelessness, however, cannot yield positive happiness, though it protects one from self-created suffering and goes a long way toward making true happiness possible. True happiness begins when one learns the art of right adjustment to other persons And right adjustment involves self-forgetfulness and love. Hence arises the spiritual importance of transforming a life of the limited self into a life of love. So I just quoted this because of the word material and spiritual adjustment. So they are just two sides of the same coin, and we have to kind of balance each other. So as we read through the discourses, you will see that Baba emphasizes a lot about balancing material life and spiritual life. Jai Baba.
Very good point. Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you for that reference
uh,
as well. Yeah, go ahead, Mama.
Here we can see it in a different way also. Science is an illusion, and there is a law in the illusion also. So respect that law. And spirituality is a different level. Inquiry into spirituality is in a different level. So even
perfect.
though science is an illusion, it has its own law. We have to respect that.
Yeah, we'll go back to the God Speaks supplement where he actually defines that, right? The four different, the pyramid of laws or the types of laws. The scientific laws are also that he calls it natural laws, but that's what you're trying to say is at one level. But then the other law over it is spiritual law. So perfect. I think agreed.
So,
Good
what
insight.
you're saying is, Karthik, just to extrapolate what you said, in beams we read four kinds of laws.
Beam, sorry.
The
Yeah,
natural
yeah.
laws, laws of matter, then the supernatural laws, which has to deal with miracles. Then higher than that is the law of karma, and the highest law is the law of
Is
divine
the law of
grace.
divine grace. Yeah.
And then we also, I think, when we were interacting with each other, as Baba said, material evolution is false illusion, and reincarnation and spiritual illusion is real illusion, and both are dreams. So in a way, even within dreams, there are certain laws which we need to follow. So I think Doc Mama is correct that the scientific laws are an illusion, because it is within this part of this false illusion and real illusion where we need to follow these laws. I don't know
Very
whether
nice.
I make sense.
Very nice.
Karthik,
yeah.
I think the highlighted small titles also to be read before you start the paragraph.
Yes, I realized because that was very, when I was summarizing, I realized even above rightful place of science, I missed reading that, but that's what I summarized when I stopped. So here I think he's talking about the need for spiritual experience. So I'll continue from need for spiritual experience. Yeah. The coming civilization.
Let me come in here. See,
Sure,
the
sure.
apprehension against science by the spiritualists or the religion is as to their want of, evidence, physical evidence. That's where a lot of this community is wrong. I'm not talking of the whole community. I'm talking of majority community wants evidence, physical evidence to anything proposed as abstraction by spirituality.
Yeah, so it is a layer, right? So they are lost in the laws that they know, and the evidence that they seek is with the constraints that they are aware of and the laws that they are comfortable with.
Correct.
Right?
So now I'll talk of the recent developments. We have scientists here at our place who are constantly researching on this. They have gone to identify a weight of up to 10 raised to minus 18. Okay. And the material in the subtle world is 10 raised to minus 28. And today science has gone into the abstraction of 10 raised to minus 150. They've started thinking of this. They are even researching on consciousness, which they were not doing earlier. So this is a change which has taken place.
True. And another insight when Kama was summarizing to me was God speaks itself, as he said, is a very good example of bringing science and spirituality in the to some sort of even keel, because he answers some things that science cannot, and he answers to the scientific people and brings spirituality to them in a way where they can relate to it comfortably. So I think this is remarkable stuff that Baba has done.
In summary, to me, God speaks. What attracted me to Baba intellectually was when I read God speaks, the thing that came and hit me was evolution of consciousness. And we have been reading Darwin's theory as evolution of forms. So that big switch for me was very important, that it's the evolution of consciousness which determines how forms develop, you know. So, and also the other aspect of good and bad. We have been conditioned to think of opposites of duality, pleasure and pain, good and bad. And when I read Baba, when he said there is nothing like good and bad, there is goodness and lesser degree
Yes,
of goodness.
Great. So I'll continue with the subtitle Need for Spiritual Experience. The coming civilization of the new humanity shall be ensouled not by dry intellectual doctrines, but by living spiritual experience. Spiritual experience has a hold on the deeper truths that are inaccessible to mere intellect. It cannot be born of unaided intellect. Spiritual truth can often be stated and expressed through the intellect, and the intellect surely is of some help for the communication of spiritual experience. But by itself, the intellect is insufficient to enable man to have spiritual experience or to communicate it to others. If two persons have had headaches, they can cooperatively examine their experience of headaches and make it explicit to themselves through the work of the intellect. If a person has never experienced a headache, no amount of intellectual explanation will suffice for making him understand what a headache is. Intellectual explanation can never be a substitute for spiritual experience. It can, at best, prepare the ground for it. Spiritual experience involves more than can be grasped by mere intellect. This is more emphasized by calling it a mystical experience. Mysticism is often regarded as something anti-intellectual, obscure, and confused, or impractical and unconnected with experience. In fact, true mysticism is none of this. There is nothing irrational in the true mysticism when it is, as it should be, a vision of reality. It is a form of perception that is absolutely unclouded, and it is so practical that it can be lived every moment of life and expressed in everyday duties. Its connection with experience is so deep that in one sense it is the final understanding of all experience. So this is nature and place of spiritual experience. He goes on, when spiritual experience is described as mystical, one should not assume that it is something supernatural or entirely beyond the grasp of human consciousness. All that is meant is that it is not accessible to the limited human intellect until the intellect transcends its limits and is illumined by direct realization of the infinite. Jesus Christ pointed out the way to spiritual experience when he said, "Leave all and follow me." This means that man must leave limitations and establish himself in the infinite life of God. A real spiritual experience involves not only realization of the nature of the soul while traversing the higher planes of consciousness, but also a right attitude toward worldly duties. If it loses its connection with the different phases of life, what we have is a neurotic reaction that is far from being a spiritual experience. The spiritual experience that is to enliven and energize the new humanity cannot be a reaction to the stern and uncompromising demands made by the realities of life. So the title here is Spiritual Experience Not Found in Escape.
कार्तिक,
Yeah.
जो आपने पुराना पैरा पढ़ा है उसके लिए एक बड़ी खूबसूरत सी चीज है। एक सूफी की स्टोरी है, उसमें उन्होंने कहा है कि एक के हाथ में आम है और उस आम को 10 तरह से एक्सप्लेन कर सकता है कि बड़ी अच्छी खुशबू आती है, बड़ा अच्छा रंग है उसका, बड़ा खूबसूरत है, पेड़ पे लगता है, पेड़ कितना खूबसूरत है, पर वो कभी उस टेस्ट को नहीं बता सकता है जो आम खा कर आता है।
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that's the difference between the theory and realize। जो आपका जो फर्स्ट पैरा है उसका जो एक्सप्लेनेशन है वो यही है कि स्पिरिचुअलिटी आपको या तो आती है समझ में, या आप उसकी थ्योरी सर चाहे तो जिंदगी भर करते रहे। इसीलिए बाबा बोलते हैं ना कि कम अनटू मी, सो व्हेन यू फॉलो द लॉर्ड you realize more.
Exactly. I'm reminded by your mango of something is there in beams as well, right? The elephant, exactly. The
analogy.
Six blind man, the six blind men and the elephant. Similar analogy.
Five.
Yeah, whatever. So with that, I will.
But the mango analogy is really very understandable. Unless you eat it, you don't know anything about mango.
Even
you know
only the form.
Your entire life. वो खुशबू भी नहीं मिलेगी आपको, स्वाद भी नहीं मिलेगा आपको।
खुशबू, रंग, texture, so many. Yes, very good example.
Even
खाने को मिलता तो अच्छा था।
बस
But first of all, you should be offered the mango to eat.
I think all of us have been offered.
But
you're a little
anything
ahead, okay, Namita?
No, but when you get the mango, if you don't get it, if you get it very easily, it has no value. So you have to, you have to kind of earn the mango to really taste it and know that it's something really divine.
True.
Anything given free is never easy. I mean, it doesn't, you don't really appreciate it till you earn it.
Yep.
Everything is very simple yet so difficult, isn't it?
But this is also another example of Baba has given an analogy. Somebody asked him because Baba said, I can give God realization just like that, like to all humanity. But why do we have to go through this whole sadhana? He said that unless you go through it, like you just said about the mango example, you have to deserve. There is a saying in Advaita.
The preparation of the disciple.
Yes, that you don't get what you want, you get what you deserve. It's based on karma theory. But the point here is that Baba said that unless you go through this process, you won't be in a position to share your experience with others. Then only you will have empathy, compassion, love for humanity. Because if things just come easily for you, just because we are with a perfect master or avatar, if you get God realization just like that, then you will just go off into nirvana. You won't bother to be like a bodhisattva.
There is
help others.
another thing also,
You might
that
even
when you
lose it
expand
very
your
as fast.
consciousness, if you expand your consciousness and you don't remove your negativity, so it's very important first to go step by step. That's the wiser approach. That is what Baba is doing with all of us. We need to remove all the clutters first, isn't it?
Yes, actually, just to add to what Mary said, is that I think the clutter lies in all the sanskaras which have to be spent. Probably, to each his own, and that's why everybody's journey is, unique. So probably also you just can't get God realization on a platter. You have to spend your sanskaras as well.
Great. So we are almost out of time. So before we close, I just wanted to make one observation. I had no role in carving out these parts, but even in the course of the reading, I just want to make a point. So I want to appreciate Kama for all the hard work and the fact that he's read this so many times. He's able to at least pick these references, not just from one book, from other books, and bring it to us. Thank you, Baba, for helping us this way. So if you look at even today's reading, I think all of it was actually flowing in sequence, though in a process. In the pages, they were all over the place, right? But I'm sure that we have Baba's guidance on this, and thank you for all the effort, Kama, because he spent all day, one day, reorganizing this. Because I said we can't miss a single page. I know you're 7 parts, but make sure that you go through the whole thing again. And I'm sure he applied his mind again and did this. So it's so obvious even in today's reading.
I just have to make a comment here, a correction. The 3 chapters that we read actually come under the part called Spirit and Matter,
yes,
which is actually part 4. So I just want to emphasize here, the reason we read these 3 chapters was because of the
time we are in.
The current, current situation, actually. But those 3 chapters actually come under Spirit and Matter and would have been a reading later. But actually, we really wanted to start with God and God because it flows from God Speaks and then Avatars and Perfect Masters. Jai Baba.
So if you are repeating this with another group, we may not have to do this in this sequence. That's his point. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Jai Baba.
Goes to Mr. Kama.
Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Baba.
Thank you so much.
Rahul, I'll reach out to you later.
Thank you, Baba.
Jai Baba.
Thank you, Baba. Jai Baba.
Thank you, Baba.
Jai Baba.
Thank you, Baba. Karthik.
Thank you, Baba.
Jai Baba.
Hi, Karthik. Good morning, Nehaji. I think his sound is not coming through. I can't hear you.
I'm trying to change the background here in this, if it is possible. Let me see, or I'll leave it today. Good day, Rahul.
Good day, ma'am. How are you?
Absolutely fine, Rahul. Absolutely fine. Jai Baba to you.
I know, Jai Baba to you. I'm taking your advice very seriously. I'm trying to listen to it right now. I'm not going to interact right now. Let me just kind of get the grasp of it, how it works.
Just listening to Baba is sufficient, Just be in that mode, and your days, already 1 hour with Baba is like starting a day like this. And of course, you go to Samadhi, so.
It's like Baba is already,
Baba is at home and he's taking care of you. So.
I'm really blessed.
Yes,
glad
Baba.
To you guys. Glad to get it. I'm going to start reading it once I feel I think when the calling comes, I think I'll start reading it. But right now, I'll just listen to it right now and understand.
It takes at least 3-4 times to get the gist of it, and then it's addictive. Then you just feel like reading it anytime, any day, at the night. You just feel like, oh, I have to read that paragraph, or I have to read that. It starts that. So it's just wait for that day to come.
Absolutely, madam.
So, enjoy. Have a nice day, Baba.
Catch you in the evening for the prayers. I'll send you some more pictures today in the evening.
Please.
That becomes a routine now.
I have put it on my Facebook page. Stay with Meher Baba. And people from all over the world are so happy to see Baba Samadhi. I have not given reference or anything, but everybody was really pleased to see the photographs. So happy.
No, I'll post them every day, so at least can refresh them every day. So at least that way, at least we are doing it every day. This feels correct.
Please do that. Please do that.
Thank you so much, Nehaji. Thank you so much.
Lovely talking to you. Jai Baba. Jai Baba. Thank you so much.
Jai Baba, Nehaji, are you there?
Jai Baba.
This is Ashok here, Ashok Bansali.
Yes, Ashok. Jai Baba.
Okay, talking about missing the Samadhi, I have come across a YouTube video which I'll share with you. It's got the entire Samadhi and in the backdrop they are singing that Aarti Bujave.
Acha.
So I'll share it with you, on WhatsApp.
Please do that.
Then,
Please do that.
because,
And I have a
we are all-
Facebook page. I have a Facebook page also. Stay with Meher Baba.
Okay. So
So yeah,
can I post it on?
please join. Please join the group.
Okay. What's it again? Can I just jot down the name of the
Stay
page?
with Meher Baba.
Stay with me. Fine. I'll join that, and then
Yeah.
if you want, I'll send it to you, or if you want, I'll post it on that. If I'm allowed, I'll post it on the group.
Sure.
So it's very
Yes.
entire Samadhi and the entire environment of the Samadhi is captured in that.
Oh, lovely. How nice. Baba.
Yeah.
Like
And
nowadays,
I was-
we really like to see more of Samadhi, because yesterday someone told me that they are going to keep MPR closed for a longer time, maybe
Oh my
till
God.
August 15 or
Yes.
so.
Yes. This is all Baba's wish. So,
Wish.
and that's why, when I came across that program, I said, see, what we think things are so trivial, but there are memories which we treasure when we are there at this.
Oh,
And
yes.
in an
Absolutely.
entire zone, 5 kilometers, there's Baba's, magnetism and grace.
Ah, lovely. How nice. How nice.
That's what somebody told me. And,
Okay.
and of course, we are, as you rightly said, we are experiencing it. And experiencing Baba is the most, it's an individualistic journey. It's every individual's
Yes.
journey.
Yes. So nice. Surely. Please share it. Okay, good day,
I
sir.
want to clarify, whatever came to my mind was I was the opening batsman. So,
No, it's very important. One has to be spontaneous and one has to speak the mind, because
Yes.
it is always good for the entire group. So, Baba
Yes,
jo bhi bulwa rahe,
and
bolna chahiye.
correct. Because I got up in the morning, as you rightly said, got addicted to it, and went through some parts of the discourses, So that's how it is. Great talking to you. Have a nice day.
Great. Same here, sir. Same here. Have a nice day, sir.